All right, we are discussing two New England Patriot running backs today
Yeah.
from a dynasty perspective. So, Rhamondre Stevenson, Damien Harris, they're being drafted very similarly. I mean, at the moment in our community mock drafts, I looked at the last four, Badake,
Yeah.
and they're pretty much going like right next to each other.
I know.
One will go
It's crazy.
earlier, and then the next one, another one will go earlier, but they're always drafted within almost the same round. It's like if one gets drafted, it triggers someone to draft the next one. But we need to decide because a lot of people are going to be having this decision. Do I draft Damien Harris? Do I draft Rhamondre Stevenson? So which running back are you drafting in Dynasty startups?
Yeah, before coming into the segment, Zach and I was setting up, and I was like, that's easy. It's Rhamondre Stevenson. But after further research, for me, is going to be Damien Harris.
Okay.
And it's tough because I don't believe there's a wrong answer, but if I had to choose just one, if I had to give you an answer, it would probably just be Damien. Why not take a shot with Damien Harris? Okay, look, as much as I believe in Rhamondre Stevenson, like I said, why not take a shot on Damien Harris? So let's start with Stevenson. He's a 24-year-old, second-year running back now at Oklahoma. Finished RB 47 this past year, missed 4 games. I mean, he didn't get a true workload, but we saw a glimpse of what Stevenson can do. Okay, in Week 10 when Damien Harris was out, 20 attempts, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, scoring over 27 fantasy points. It was fantastic. I remember Zach messaging like one of our group chats like, bro, Rhamondre Stevenson. Did you see that? Did you see what he just ran up the sideline? It was like Rhamondre Stevenson. Like, look at this guy. He was hyped about it. And I was hyped too. Like, I loved what I saw. I was so down. Like, I got a lot of stock of Rhamondre Stevenson after that. But look, let's remember that this team is completely different now. Okay.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels is gone. And we all know that he used to run a running back by committee for a long time. And I don't remember the last time I remember a workhorse running back finishing on the ground like that, on the ground, getting all his work on the ground, finishing in the top 10 before. And a lot of people are saying, well, hey, Josh McDaniels is gone now, so we're going to see everything's going to look different.
Derrick Henry, but I mean, Nick Chubb, but those are extreme scenarios.
I'm saying for the New England Patriots specifically.
Okay.
I know Sony Michel finished once, but he was a pass catching back. The reason why he finished top 10 was because he was a pass catching back. It was LeGarrette Blount in 2016. Okay, for me, I think it's time that it's a new turn. It's a new page. Okay, Josh McDaniels is gone, and he coached this team for the past offensively for the past 16 years. That's crazy. I looked that up. 16 years.
Yeah, in and out of other positions.
Exactly, in and out of other positions. But that's crazy. And let's not forget, Tom Brady was there. So this team is completely different moving forward. So for Damien Harris now, he's only 25 years old. He's a 4-year out of Alabama. This past year finished RB 14, missed 2 games. And what was so good about Damien Harris this past year? It was the opportunity and the productivity that he had on the field. Okay, so opportunity. Yeah. The Patriots were 9th out of all 32 teams that ran the ball the most. Okay, which is fantastic for a running back, especially if you want that running back on your team. It's great. Harris was 12th amongst running backs that got red zone targets within 11 yards or less. Once again, a guy which means leading to touchdowns. Okay, which is a productivity standpoint, 10th in rushing yards amongst running backs and finished 5th among running backs in total touchdowns. The guy was getting the work. There was no doubt about it. Every single day, Rhamondre Stevenson in a PPR perspective was at least getting you a minimum of 12 points. It felt like every single week unless he got hurt.
I think you mean Damien Harris.
Harris, excuse me. Damien Harris moving forward like every single week this past year. I had Damien Harris. I thought it was a steal. Which leads me to believe, why not go for Damien Harris? He's only 1 year older, a little bit more experience. I know the contract is up this year, but if he has a similar year with the New England Patriots, I see them, him taking a team-friendly deal and signing maybe a 2-year contract extension, and maybe it has that 1-2 piece. Once again, Josh McDaniels is gone, so the running back by committee thought process is different now. Okay, I think we had to get that out the way. He's no longer there. Okay, so now it's a whole new page. I know everyone's been saying, "Hey, what's going to happen?" We really don't know. They haven't even hired an offensive coordinator. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator then? Maybe it's just Bill that's going to do both jobs. We got to wait and see. But once again, why not take a chance on Damien Harris right now? 1 year older of Rhamondre Stevenson. I think it's a good opportunity.
So I'll start by saying I do think that this will still be a running back by committee. I don't think the Patriots are going to have a one-headed monster in this backfield. It's just a part of their identity to have multiple running backs. I mean, even third down guys like James White have always been a part of this backfield. So I do think that there will be a running back by committee, but I don't think Damien Harris is the wrong answer. Honestly, this is going to sound like a huge cop-out, but whoever is available later in drafts, give that player to me. Because I don't want to spend up for either of them. But I think most people would expect me to come in here and say Rhamondre Stevenson. I think most people would be advocating for Rhamondre.
I think so as well.
But I believe that Damien Harris is just as valuable. So give me whoever I can get later. Because I don't, like, whatever running back goes first, give me the second one. Whether it's Damien or it's Rhamondre. And I'll just explain why I think they're closer in value than people might believe. Okay. Number one, age and usage, like you said. Yeah, sure, Rhamondre was a rookie last year, but he's 24 years old. He's not like a young rookie.
Exactly.
In fact, Damien Harris is only 1 year and 12 days older than Rhamondre Stevenson.
12 days. Right to the days this guy got.
If you look at Damien Harris's usage, he had 4 rushing attempts as a rookie. 4 rushing attempts, okay? In year 2, he had 137 rushing attempts. And then last year, year 3, he had 202. So that's 343 total rushing attempts in 3 years. There's not a ton of mileage on Damien Harris's body. For example, like I said, Damien Harris, 343 total attempts in 3 years. Najee Harris, just for example, 319 attempts in 1 year. Okay? So it's not as if Damien has been used as this extreme workhorse and there's a lot of wear and tear on the body and you should be worried about long-term effects because he's not been used that heavily. And honestly, if we break down the splits between Rhamondre and Damien, they're both just as efficient as each other. I think it's more this offense produces good, efficient running backs who share time. So, again, give me whoever is cheaper. And let's talk about the current running back free agency market. You know, I think this is where most of the people who are saying Rhamondre is the answer here are kind of justifying that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's got 1 year left, Damien does. So he's probably gone. Well, I think maybe that's a little bit of an oversight if we're not realizing the current status, the current condition of the free agency running back market.
Yeah.
Are the Pats really going to have to spend that much to re-sign Damien Harris?
Exactly. Yeah.
Running backs are re-signing on very team-friendly deals right now. We don't see the mega Zeke, Kamara, CMC, Dalvin Cook type of deals in today's NFL, in today's market. And yes, it is fair to say that Damien Harris is not that caliber of player. So why are we worried about his contract? I mean, he's going to play somewhere after this year, whether it's New England or he re-signs for a different team and has a similar, running back by committee type of role. I mean, even this year, we saw James Conner, Lenny Fournette, Cordero Patterson, Rashad Penny, Ronald Jones all sign relatively team-friendly deals.
Yeah.
And what do I expect? I mean, I think Damien Harris could sign a deal similar to Rashad Penny. So I feel like the Patriots will be more than willing to give him that type of deal. If they don't, okay, he moves on to a different team, plays a running back by committee role. But I think it would be the wrong thing to assume that then Stevenson automatically becomes a dominant workhorse running back because there will be another running back floating into the system if Damien Harris leaves, whether it's through the draft or it's through free agency. It won't just be the Rhamondre Stevenson show. So again, I think they're both good running backs, both similarly aged. Damien doesn't have a lot of miles on him. So for me, I don't think Rhamondre is the wrong answer. I think the wrong answer, to be honest, in my opinion, is having a strong stance on either of them. You know what I mean? And you don't have a strong stance on either of them. Neither do I. If you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm smacking the table, I'm saying it's Rhamondre, then it's probably not the right perspective.
Yeah.
And the same thing can be said if you're saying the same for Damien Harris, because they're both just as valuable as each other, in my opinion. So take whoever goes later. Don't spend up big and multiple rounds ahead for one of these guys. And let's just be realistic with the offenses that they're in and their age and their production. So let's talk about where we would draft him in a startup. Where are you comfortable drafting these players in a startup?
Look, I mean, we've been saying it the whole time, is that these guys are going back to back. So end of the 9th, early 10th, that's where it's going. This past mock draft that we did with our Patreon only community was Damien went in the 9-10 and Stevenson went in the 10-2. It was literally 2, 3, 4 spots after that. So they're going essentially back to back. So I'm comfortable taking him at the end of the 9th, early 10th.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 10th, 11th. 11th feels like a real steal at that point if you can do it.
Yeah.
All right, I have Damien Harris as my running back 28. I have Stevenson as my 29. So
I have Harrison as my 28, Stevenson as my 30.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so pretty much very similar.
Yeah, very similar, back to back essentially. So yeah, I really like Harris.
Maybe you're about to do startup drafts and you're really not sure which player to get. Hopefully this helps because I don't think there's really a wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
So comment down below what you think.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam.